outside of Detroit, Michigan. Outside, I wouldn't call it a suburb. It's not like a desirable location. You know how that goes. My
Yeah.
parents moved into Inkster, Michigan in 1955. They were actually redlined in the Inkster, Michigan, which you know is how they created our enclaves that are underfunded, under-resourced, under-schooled, underemployed, and over policed, right? So,
Yes, sir.
I grew up in one of those areas, right?
Yes, sir. And it's funny you mentioned that, Freddie, because I just did a video a couple of days because people send me things and they was talking to me about violence in our communities and why hip hop artists are killing each other. And I say, you know what, guys? How about I do a video and show you guys why there's violence in my community? How ghettos were actually created in this country. You know what I mean? And many people don't know how far back that goes and how it's still happening today. But I'm not an excuse written person, Freddie. I don't look at our struggle and say, okay, because I went through that, I can't be successful. But you can't deny what has actually taken place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the facts are the facts, right? Like, it just is what it is, and it makes our rise inevitable if we have the self-determination to overcome the obstacles that are put in front of us. But there's no denying that if my dad was able to buy where he wanted to buy, which it was $11,000, the same house, but he was redlined to a particular area, that house today is worth 6, 7, 8 times more than what it is the house that I grew up in. And with those types of resources, what type of opportunities could I have had if he was able to pull that type of money out of the home rather than just struggle from year to year and hope their son is either smart enough or plays basketball.
There we go.
And get a scholarship and get a chance to get out of there, right?
Yep, and that's directly how wealth is accumulated in this country. Because I tell people, Freddie, look, I'm an advocate of reparations. I know people who look at me and say, that'll never happen. How are we going to do it? Is it going to be land? They're going to give you money? Well, figure it out. You figured out how to come up with all this COVID-19 money. Figure it out. Because when I look at the redlining structure and how it played out, and I told somebody this the other day, it was a light bulb, Freddie. I was like, you know what? White people actually got reparations before.
Yeah.
They got a leg up. They got help. You know what I mean?
They really did. They really did. In fact, the slave owners, so-called slave owners in the South, they got reparations for their lost property, right? Wow. So like these stories, these excuses. And let me just give you a scholarly word. Randall Robinson wrote a book called The Debt back in the 90s. If everybody's saying, oh, how's it going to get done? There's a very articulate plan laid out by a very intelligent brother who did a wonderful job, I thought. Check it out if you're just ever interested. Right?
What's the name of the book again?
The Debt by Randall Robinson.
Interesting. Okay, so let's get into the flashcards, right? Like talk